What if Hermione killed Tom Riddle at the orphanage? The Timeturner's terrible choice. We know Hermione Granger as the brightest witch of her age, a steadfast friend, and the moral compass of the Golden Trio. Her unwavering belief in rules and ethics was a constant force, often balancing Harry's impulsiveness and Ron's occasional recklessness. But what if, confronted with the ultimate evil of Lord Voldemort and equipped with the power to rewrite history, Hermione made a choice that defied every fiber of her being? What if, using the Timeturner, she traveled back to the orphanage and, before Dumbledore's arrival, ended the life of a young Tom Riddle, believing it was the only way to save countless lives? This what if explores the heaviest burden imaginable, the cost of a terrible choice made for the greater good, and the ripple effects on a world saved by an unimaginable act. The terrible choice, a burden taken, the weight of knowledge, a future unveiled. Our story begins at the end of Goblet of Fire. Harry has just returned from the graveyard. Voldemort is reborn, and the wizarding world is plunging into chaos. Hermione, with her sharp intellect, quickly grasps the terrifying scope of what's to come. She foresees the bloodshed, the loss, the pure, unadulterated evil that Voldemort will unleash. Perhaps she pores over prophecy books, or even has a fleeting, terrible vision of a desolate future. The thought crystallizes. What if it could all be stopped before it even began? She possesses the Timeturner, a dangerous tool, capable of altering the past. Not just to save a hippogriff, but to prevent a Holocaust. The ethical dilemma is immense, agonizing, tearing at her very soul. But the sheer weight of future death compels her. She makes the most difficult decision of her life. She will go back. The orphanage encounter. A child. A monster? Hermione travels back to the time Dumbledore first visited Tom Riddle at the orphanage. She arrives early, before the wizened headmaster. She observes Tom Riddle, not as the innocent child he might appear to others, but as the nascent monster she knows he will become. She witnesses his cruelty, his disdain for others, the chilling signs of sociopathy already present. This observation hardens her resolve. With a single, silent, and incredibly difficult act, perhaps a swift, merciful spell, or a more direct, yet unseen, action, she ends the life of young Tom Riddle. There's no dramatic flair, no confrontation. Just a calculated, terrible choice made in a bleak corner of history. A choice that will forever haunt her. A world reshaped. Unforeseen ripples. Dumbledore's disappearance and a different prophecy. Dumbledore arrives at the orphanage, but finds no Tom Riddle. Perhaps the matron simply states the child never existed or died mysteriously years ago. Dumbledore would sense a significant disruption in the magical fabric of time, a massive, yet untraceable, change. He might spend years trying to decipher this anomaly, recognizing a major player in future. Dark magic has simply vanished from the timeline. The prophecy regarding the Chosen One and Voldemort would simply never fully manifest or would become obsolete. The wizarding world would experience a period of quiet, a lack of the burgeoning darkness that defined the later half of the 20th century. This would be a world living in a strange, unearned peace. Harry Potter's life, a quiet heroism. Was no Voldemort to rise, the night at Godric's Hollow would never happen. James and Lily Potter would live. Harry would grow up a normal, beloved boy, free from the scar, free from the burden of being the boy who lived. He might still go to Hogwarts, still form deep friendships with Ron and Hermione, but his challenges would be ordinary teenage ones, not life or death battles. Sirius Black would never see Azkaban, living a full, happy life alongside his best friend James. The entire magical generation would be spared the horrors of war. Harry's heroism, if it emerged, would be in everyday acts of bravery, kindness, or excellence, not in vanquishing the darkest wizard of all time. Hermione's silent burden, the unseen sacrifice. While the world rejoices in its peace, Hermione Granger carries the heaviest burden of all. She's the only one who remembers the horrors that were averted, the lives that were saved, and the terrible price she paid. The knowledge of her act, the deliberate ending of a child's life, however monstrous that child would have become, would weigh on her every single day. She would be an unsung hero, a quiet martyr, living with an unbearable secret. This secret might isolate her emotionally, creating a permanent barrier between her and her closest friends, even Harry, who would never know the sacrifice she made for his peaceful life. Her brilliance would persist, but it would be tempered by a profound internal sorrow. The moral compass that once defined her would be forever skewed by the one act that saved them all. The unforeseen costs, a world without evil, a soul aflame, the absence of evil, unpreparedness and stagnation. A world without Voldemort, while peaceful, might also be fundamentally altered in unforeseen ways. The immense advancements in defensive magic, the bonds forged in resistance, the rise of powerful leaders in times of crisis. All of this might not happen. The wizarding world could become complacent, perhaps even stagnant, without a great evil to challenge its complacency. Would Dumbledore's Order of the Phoenix ever form? Would the Ministry truly address its systemic issues without a unifying threat? While certainly preferable to war, this peace might lead to a different kind of weakness, an unpreparedness for future, unknown dangers. The nature of justice and destiny, a moral quandary. What if Hermione killed Tom Riddle at the orphanage? It forces us to confront the deepest moral questions. Is it ever right to sacrifice one life, even a life destined for unimaginable evil, to save countless others? Does the end truly justify the means? Hermione's act is a terrifying thought experiment in preemptive justice, a chilling reminder that sometimes the greatest heroism carries the heaviest, most unforgivable personal cost. The world is saved, but the hero's soul carries an indelible scar, forged by a choice no one should ever have to make. This what if from a brilliant follower challenges us to think beyond simple good and evil, exploring the agonizing gray areas of choice and consequence. Hermione's silent sacrifice, her terrible choice, would forever haunt her, making her the true unsung savior of a world that would never know its debt to her. What are your thoughts on Hermione's impossible choice? Do you think she could have lived with such a secret? And is there any other what-if scenario from the wizarding world you'd like us to explore next? Share your insights and theories in the comments below. Your ideas truly help shape the magic here on Omniva.